Okay, so you've got a rough outline, a clear picture of your main characters, and your fingers are itching to get writing. Well, before we get cracking on the writing, there are a few things you might want to do first to make sure that you can write as efficiently as possible, because that's the name of the game. Set yourself a realistic daily writing goal that you can stick to every single day. 10,000 words probably isn't that reasonable, but 20 words won't get you very far. So, depending on your lifestyle and how much writing time you've got available, you need to set a realistic goal. Normally 1,000 to 2,000 words is a good goal to go for. It'll stretch you, but it won't be too overwhelming. Really though, it's up to you. But the aim here is consistency. Make sure that you've got a quiet, distraction-free space to write every day. Fill your nook with trinkets, inspirational quotes, and anything else that'll help keep you motivated, but be sure to avoid anything that might distract from the writing itself. If you write better with music, then set aside a playlist to accompany your writing. If candles or lava lamps are your thing, then get them ready and do whatever you need to do to get into the right headspace each day to write. Right headspace to write. That's too many rights. See, don't repeat the same word too many times. Moving forward. Now, if you're a night owl, schedule some time each night to write. If you're an early bird like me, then do the same in the morning. But make sure that the time you set aside for writing each day is when your brain is most focused and you're likely to be as productive as possible. It's also worth having a backup so that you can keep writing when life gets in the way and knocks your regular writing schedule out of whack. In my case, I write first thing in the morning before my family is awake so that there's no distractions and I can focus on the writing. When my writing time is reduced for whatever reason, I can usually grab a few minutes in the afternoon or later at night to write a few paragraphs and keep my momentum. Now that might not work for you if you write at 10 at night, but it's worth thinking about. Plan to fail or fail to plan, but plan to do. Failing to plan, planning to fail, failing to plan is planning to fail. Forget it, doesn't matter. The goal for a good first draft document is that it enables efficiency and allows you to keep the writing flowing as much as possible. I like to set up my draft documents with a section at the rear for explanatory notes, ideas, sketches, those sorts of things. That way, when I'm writing, if an idea strikes me, I can quickly skip to the end of the document, get the thoughts out of my system, and then get right back to the section that I'm writing. I also use chapter headings in Word to keep a clear view of all the chapters as I'm writing, so I can get a good sense of the story as a whole while I'm writing scene by scene. Some days you'll write a lot. Some days you'll struggle to get out a few sentences. The main factor that will determine whether you can write your novel is consistency. Keep showing up and writing every day because that's your best chance of succeeding. Forming a habit where you write every day, no matter how you feel or what your emotional state is, will mean that you're continually progressing your writing. Also, don't stress about the days when you can only manage a few words, because the days when you write a lot will make up for the lean times. Don't stress about the ups and downs, just shoot for consistency. And remember, progress, not perfection. Myself, I aim for one sentence a day because I know what I'm like, and I know that no matter how excited I am about a novel idea, when it comes time to write each morning, most of the time I won't want to do it. I'll be tired and worn out from the affairs of life and distracted by social media and emails and my phone and the kids and pets and the monkey. The main barrier for me is just getting started, but I know that if I can just get the ball rolling, I'll typically write a couple of thousand words every day without trouble. How do I know that? Because I've done it 1,000 times, and it works, for me at least. Whatever goal you're aiming for, make sure that it's manageable so you can hit it every day. But if you do miss a day, don't beat yourself up about it. Progress, not perfection, remember? You're new at this, so it'll take some time to get yourself into a solid writing rhythm, and that's okay. The key to maintaining momentum while writing your first draft is to write as efficiently as possible and avoid getting stuck in place. The time to agonize over word choice and paragraph structure, syntax and so on is during the editing phase of the project, not during your drafting phase. If you try and edit while you write your first draft, your progress will slow to a crawl, you'll lose momentum, and you'll likely lose sight of the larger flow of your story. So if you want to write efficiently, then don't get bogged down. If you get stuck in one section of writing and you just can't get past it, write the words "more here" and come back later. Remember, your first draft doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be done. My first drafts will typically have 5 or 6 sections with "more here" written in the main text. These sections I go back and fill out during the editing phase, when I can take my time and craft each part of my book line by line. The key is that I don't stop writing while I'm at the drafting phase. If I get a mental block or I'm just too tired to write a scene which isn't particularly interesting to me at the moment, then I just skip ahead and keep moving. Now, this isn't something that you can do all the time. There might be key sections of your novel you absolutely need to write before moving on to a following section. You might also have certain plot points that you're trying to work through, and these need to be sorted before you move on, otherwise you risk going off in the wrong direction. For the most part though, if you get stuck, skip and move on. Tangents are fun, but they can also be incredibly distracting. If you find yourself digging down into extraneous details of your novel that take you away from the central story and the main characters of your book, you might need to curtail the tangent habit. The easiest way to do this, if you start digging in too deep, is just to stop where you are and write the word tangent in capital letters. Skip ahead and continue writing the book. When you come back to do your editing, you can decide whether you entirely remove the tangent, tweak it, trim it, or spend a little more time exploring the idea. But during your initial drafting phase, try to keep moving and stick to the central story of your book. There's a good reason writers don't copy the way humans speak in the real world. That's because we're incredibly repetitive and utterly boring for the most part. When talking with family or friends, we lean on well-worn idioms and phrases which aren't particularly interesting. Hey man, how you doing? You good? Yeah. Sweet. As a new writer, you'll find that you also lean on certain words and phrases and descriptive sequences over and over as you write your first draft. Now, during the drafting phase, this isn't something you need to worry about. The goal here is efficiency, not perfection. Stopping every paragraph or two to hunt for a better word will slow down your writing and potentially derail your writing rhythm. Editing is where you'll go through your book in detail and remove repetition, punish your thesaurus, and savagely cut and prune your manuscript to make it as good as it can possibly be. But we're not at the editing phase yet. We're drafting. So, don't stress too much about repetition in your writing. With more experience, you'll learn to change things up more regularly as you write your first draft. And with a great editor for support, you'll be able to pinpoint your own writing habits and learn to change and adapt to become a better writer. But for now, just keep writing. To hunt through a thesaurus. To hunt through a thesaurus. To hunt through a... Why did I put through in thesaurus? To hunt for a better word. Okay.